And finally, we're just going to talk about a few of the basic scientists that you might want to know for the science book competition. We already talked about the first one, actually, Democritus. He's Greek. His name means like by the people or for the people or something like that. And he came up with the idea of the atom. Lavoisier, he's a French scientist. He was very instrumental in the development of quantitative chemistry. So instead of just like looking at things and trying to figure out what's happening, he did very accurate measurements. He tried to learn about reactions by, weighing how much of each reactant he had before the reaction, putting them together, and weighing them after to try to see if things had changed, and like use the power of math and numbers to learn more about chemistry. And so he's mainly famous for discovering things like how in combustion they use oxygen. Rutherford was a British scientist. He came up with this model of the atom, this planetary model of the atom here. And he also had a famous experiment called the gold foil experiment. And in this gold foil experiment, essentially his conclusion was that the majority of the atoms was boiled up inside of this nucleus that was full of like these positively charged protons and later on like neutrons as well. And that most of the atom is actually a bunch of empty space. Marie Curie is part of a dynamic duo scientist power couple. Her husband also won the Nobel Prize with her. And so Marie Curie worked extensively on radiation. She had discovered two elements. I think she discovered radium and polonium. But unfortunately, they didn't know about the harms of radiation at the time of her research, and she died from radiation poisoning and from the side effects and diseases that can come from prolonged radiation exposure. Okay. And so now we'll be setting up Kahoot to try to cover what we went over today in chemistry.